morning.
Hello. Do you have other video game stuff besides
No,
what's
that's
over
all
there?
the stuff he put out. That's all that he has that I know of.
Oh, is this like you kind of man in the shop for
Man in
somebody
the
else?
shop. Well, there's a few people here. I'm man in the shop for everybody.
Gotcha.
How are you?
You know how much this is?
50 cents?
Yeah. Alright, everybody. Welcome to the entirely too much stuff episode. I got like layers I'm gonna have to like peel back to show you everything at this point, but yeah, I had a pretty good weekend. And then last weekend I was like, oh, I almost have enough for a video. I'll just wait till next weekend. I'll pick up like 2 or 3 things, and then I'll have enough. And then I picked up way too much stuff the past 2 days, so let's get into it. We're gonna start over here. I decided to start trying to buy holiday decorations and stuff. These are Jack Skellington lights. Might actually keep these since it's getting close to Halloween. I like Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm not super into it like a lot of people, but I might pick them up. But either way, I think they're worth about 20 bucks, and I paid 2. Yard sale. I got a CD player for $1 sealed. I wouldn't buy this brand unless it was sealed. It's only like I think $14, $15 CD player. Last weekend, one of the days rained, Saturday, so I didn't get to go out, but on Sunday I managed to get out. I always have to drive further on Sundays because there's less yard sales, so I ended up kind of like far away, but I got this inbox Atari 2600 for 15 bucks. There it is right there. It came with a bunch of games that are hidden there. I think they also sold me an iPod. I don't think it's one of those. I think it's already gone. Next to that, this was a great yard sale yesterday. It just like kept giving. At first, it didn't seem like they had anything, and then I saw some Legos, which I'll get to in a minute. But this was the last thing I bought. Actually, was an Xbox 360 arcade. It's one of the ones without a hard drive. It just has like that netting on top that you can remove and put a hard drive in. I spent 15 because it comes with the network adapter that's worth about 25 on its own. Came with a couple controllers. I might not have opened that one up. I pretty much opened up every system but that one, actually. There were a lot of bonus games, so there might still be a game in there. I asked if she had games for it though, but she said she pretty much only has Skylanders, so if anything, maybe there's a Skylanders disc in there. And on top of that, we have another Xbox 360. I ended up paying $45. I got that 360, that Wii, another one of those Wii's, the one on the far left, because there were just 2 Wii's inside that box. It was missing controllers and AV cable, but I have plenty of stuff. I might need to order a sensor bar or something. But then that PS3 as well, but that also system and cord only, but all of them had games in them. So I'll show you those in a bit. So 45 for that. On top of that, there's a model kit next Star Wars Rogue One. It's a AT-ACT or AT-ACT. That was $2.99 at Salvation Army, which like I never find anything at Salvation Army, so that was great. That goes, I think, about 35, 40 bucks on that one. Then see these Lego kits. So this Lego Creator Kit came from the yard sale with that Xbox 360, the bottom one. I got 5 sets of Legos for $35. It came with that Bionicle one on top of the chest there. This little Lego Creator, which these ones usually aren't worth too much, but I think this one ended up being like 25 to 30. And then I didn't realize this one was opened. They had a little piece of tape over it, and it was with the other sealed ones, but that's another one. I'm not sure how much this one goes for because I'm gonna have to build it to see if it's all there. But $35 for that. And I asked if they had other games. There was a young kid. He went and he got a few Xbox One games. I bought one off him. I'll show you in a minute. And then his older sister went and got this, which was great. This is a DSi pink. I paid $10 for this. Didn't have a charger, but it came with a decent amount of games and a case, which I can sell for $5 or $10 probably. So I think that ended up being everything. They went and looked for more games. And I asked if she had the cases for the games for this, and she was like, no, but when they went to go look for the games, they found the cases for most of the games and DVDs, so that was great. And first find yesterday was this DS Lite. No charger, no games. Ended up paying $6 for that. Then a guy had a Polaroid camera, but he wanted like $50 for it. And I tried to, it was a one-step close-up. I was trying to explain to him, like, it's not really worth very much. I'm like, it's worth like $15-20 tops, which is about right now. They've come down a decent amount, but it had a few packs of film, but it wasn't turning on. I was trying to just get it for a few bucks from him. I was like, I don't want to open up one of these and try to use the batteries for these because then you'll just waste them. And then he just went and he opened one up. I was like, no. But I bought the other one from him for $1, and I ended up leaving the camera because he just wanted too much. But he sold this to me for $1. Then a little community sale yesterday. I got a Sony CyberShot. I don't usually buy these point-and-click cameras, but Sony's always a good brand to buy. This one I think goes for about $35-40. I paid $5. It came with this cool little charger. You just kind of like shove the battery in there, and I think it charges all sorts of different batteries that are like this shape, because it has more prongs in there than the battery has like metal slots, so it's kind of cool. Got this iPod for $1 yesterday. I'll go for about like 40-ish. Got this iPod for $8. Or no. Oh, actually, sorry. There's an iPod plugged into my computer right now. It's a 160 gigs. This 160? No, this is only an 80. So I got that other one for $8. That'll probably sell for about $150 to $200. And then this one's an 80, so I think this one goes for about $100 to $125. I think I got this one last weekend, and I think I paid $15, which is a little high for what I'd pay for an iPod, but the guy asked $50, and I knew he wasn't going to go down too much, but managed to get him to $15, just trying to explain to him. He was like, I never use it, and I was like, yeah, like if this doesn't work, I'm out. I'm out $50, you know. So thankfully, it did end up working. Got another iPod. I don't really remember where this one came from, but I think I only paid a few bucks. I think it was just a yard sale last weekend. Got a Polaroid camera. That I think was just at Savers. That was $4.99 for that, maybe. Started to lose track of the Polaroid camera prices because I just bought so many at this point. It kind of blends together. Then we got a few more Wii's over there. I got the black one yesterday for $25. They also had all these PS4 games. I was trying to get it all for $45, I think. But it was I don't know if it was like an aunt or a mom or something and this guy, but the lady was all about, she was like, yeah, 45 is fine, but I have to ask him, and she just kind of phrased it oddly, so I bundled it together, and this is one of the few times I think like bundling stuff together has gone awry. So I was like, oh, 45, and she's like, yeah, you'll get 15 for your games, and I'll get 30 for my Wii and games. And he's like, no, I don't want $15 for all that. And he's like, no, no deal. And he just like went back inside. And then I was like, okay, you want to take 25 for this? And she's like, sure. So in that situation, I probably should have bought the Wii from her first and then tried to buy the PS4 games for $20 from him. I think she kind of like messed it up for me because he had a lot of games for $5 and $10, but he only had like 6 or 7 games, and one of them was Detroit Become Human, which was just free. But yeah, I think after he went back in the house, I probably should have just offered her $20 for them. But oh well, I already have. They were all games I didn't have too, so I probably should have just forked up like 25. But it doesn't matter anyway. Next to that, you'll see an actual PS4 though. That I paid 150 for. That's the Call of Duty World War II one. It's worth about 250. Came with an extra black controller and 3 or 4 games. I'll show you in a bit. Definitely paid more than I wanted to, but I only paid that much because it was the special Call of Duty edition. If it was just a black PS4 Slim, I probably would have walked away. And then back to those Wii's, sorry. So that black one was the one I bought from that family. The white one I bought at another yard sale for $7. No games besides Wii Sports. And then on top of that, I bought a Wii Mini from another yard sale for $10. Came with a bunch of games. I think I got like a Guitar Hero guitar, something like that. For some reason, I've put the games that I bought the black Wii next to it instead of over there. So we can just go through those real quick. So these came with the black Wii. So it was a smoking home. So these kind of smell. This one actually, this was the Wii Sports that came with the middle Wii. And then that black Wii is actually one of the non-backwards compatible ones. So it only plays Wii games. But it came with the Wii Sports Resort double disc. I think this on its own is like a $30 game. Just because it's like one disc that has both games on it. So that was cool. Yeah, Wii Sports. So these all kind of smell a bit, which is a bummer. I always have to put a disclaimer when I sell these because you don't want to sell like, especially stuff that kids might get. Something that smells like cigarettes or just smells gross in general. Because people will return them. They don't have a problem returning at the mall. So you want to make sure you make it clear these smell. And people that do smoke, they'll end up buying it. Because, I mean, their stuff already smells, so they don't mind. But, you know, people with younger kids, like, they don't want them smelling in all this, like, gross stuff. But anyway, decent games. So $25. Got Super Mario All-Stars, Ninja Turtles, Super Mario Sluggers, Sonic Colors, Super Smash Brothers, NASCAR Inside Line, and Super Mario Bros. Wii. These were also just like coated, like they're all still kind of dirty. It's just like that's what cigarette smoke will do to games. It'll just like everyone at the yard sale was smoking, so I knew that even if I showed you the underside of the Wii, you'd see it's brown, and the vent is just like clogged with like brown dust. And that's just what happens when you smoke inside your house. So that Atari I got probably like 20 minutes after I bought the boxed one. I got that the next town over. Asked if she had any video game stuff. She came out with a box with a bunch of Atari games, a bunch of Intellivision games, and then that Atari. I asked if she had the Intellivision. She just responded with like, "You're asking me about something I don't know." Which is what I think she said. She had a very heavy like Eastern European accent, so I wasn't like quite sure. Like we had a little bit of a language barrier, but I managed to get that for 15. Decent games. I've sold one so far, or no, that actually came with the box one. I sold a copy of James Bond 007 for like $25. I'd never seen it before, and I was glad it came with it. But anyway, yeah. And then back there, you'll see a boxed Sega CD. The box that I actually already had. You'll probably see that from a video from like 2 or 3 years ago. It's been holding on to a broken Sega CD in hopes that if I got a power cord that eventually it would just work, but it didn't. But thankfully I did hold on to it because I ended up finding a working Sega CD Model 2. I paid 35 bucks. I got that and TI-83 Plus, which ended up being broken, so kind of a wash. But the guy was just like, yeah, people, like, I don't think people are going to want to pay what I want for this. He's like, people have been like lowballing me all day. I was like, oh, how much do you want? And it was the Sega, I think it was the Model 1 that was attached to it over there. He's like 40 bucks. And I was like, oh, just take 35 and give me the calculator as well. He's like, oh yeah, no problem. So I don't know what people were offering him before, but it was definitely worth it. It came with a few games. A few of them already sold. But I was really surprised. And then I walked across the street and I bought the Sega Genesis Model 2 from another lady with a bunch of like random games and that Pokemon Master Trainer game. I paid 10 bucks. I usually don't buy Sega Model 2s anymore. They just don't really sell for very much. But she just seemed to want to get rid of stuff. Her like husband went in, he just like grabbed all these old video games and stuff, and he was like, here you go, whatever you want, just take them. So I gave him 10 bucks. Next, I guess we'll go over, there's a fly in here, that's great. Next, we'll go over all these Legos. So I ended up dropping 120 bucks. And I got, let's see, I got the Batman one, that Lego Friends, Minecraft, Lego City, another Lego Friends, the Hero Factory, that green one, sealed copy, these are all sealed by the way, sealed copy of Heroica, which is a board game, another Lego Friends, another Hero Factory, and then I also got 4 PS4 games that are kind of sticking up out of the top there. $120 for all that. I actually probably should have tossed on a few more PS4 games. The dad was all about selling me all of them for just about nothing, but the mom and like the teenage boy were like, no, we want more. So I think if it was up to the dad, I probably would have walked out of there with all the games and all the Legos for like 50 bucks, but ended up spending 120. I left behind one Lego set because it was one of those Star Wars like action figure sets. And the Lego action figure, like the big ones, they're like about a foot tall. They're just not worth anything. So I took that one out because mom wanted like 150 or I don't know. We went back and forth for a while, but I ended up paying 120. Left behind one sealed Lego set that, again, not worth anything. I've already sold the Minecraft one for just under 50, the Lego City one for I think 25, maybe like 24 and change. And most of them are worth a decent amount. The only one that ended up being less than the price they had on it, which I didn't end up paying. I ended up paying, they had half the value pretty much as prices on all of them. Like some of these were like 30 and 40 and like 15, 20. So I think when they added up, it was almost $300. But yeah, they gave me a heck of a deal. But anyway, yeah, I think either that Lego Friends or the other one up there is actually only worth like $15. So like barely worth what it's going to be to ship it. But yeah, it was amazing. So I was surprised to find that, and then found more Legos later, as I said, with that set and those other ones. Moving on, we got a Excalibur Kingmaster 3 chess set. I paid like $3 or $4.99 at Savers. Those sell really slow, but they end up going for about 40 to 50. I only ever buy one at a time, at least like the model. So if I find a Kingmaster 2, I'll buy that. But I found my Kingmaster 3 the next day without the box, and I just left it because it usually takes about 3 or 4 months to sell these. So they're not like a great investment. I'll come down here. This is a Sega Fight Stick. I got a broken first party one. I forget if it was with, I think I mentioned it in the last video. It was actually with that broken Sega CD Model 1. But I got a working one. It is Fighter Stick SG6. I don't think this one's actually worth very much. I don't know if I've looked it up or if I've listed it yet, but It's kind of cool. It seems actually higher quality than the first party one, but anyway. Then I got a iPad, which I thought when they first showed it to me was like a web book until I noticed the button on the side. And I was like, oh, this is an iPad. And when they actually first went to go find it, they thought it was a Game Boy. Like they were like, oh, he had that little Game Boy thing, and they came out with that. So that was cool. So yeah, the keyboard definitely distracted me, but it's only it's a iPad Mini 1, worth about 35, 45 bucks, somewhere in there. Hoping the keyboard makes it around 50, but I would doubt it. Want to say I paid 5 to 10 bucks. I'm not even really sure. It was last weekend, and then this weekend I accidentally went back to the same house because when you go to so many yard sales, like you can't remember the bad addresses. I remember 3 or 4 bad addresses that I shouldn't go to anymore. But yeah, I didn't think they would have a yard sale 2 weekends in a row, I guess. But anyway. Next, we got 2 calculators at a yard sale, 15 bucks. Got TI-83, which is the first time I found one of these in a long time. Usually it's a TI-83 Plus. I was actually surprised it has the same value as the Plus. It's still about a $30 to $40 calculator. And this one, I didn't expect this one to be worth as much. I know a lot of HP calculators are up there, but the scientific ones usually aren't that much. But got a 32S2 scientific calculator. Works great. They had $8 on it. It looks like it goes anywhere from like 65 to 100 bucks. So I think I put it for like 80 to 90 something. But yeah, it came with the case. I was pretty surprised about that. Like usually I'll look it up on Amazon, and Amazon price is usually a little high, and people aren't always buying them off Amazon, but I went to eBay after and it's the same price, so definitely look out for that. Always grab HP calculators anyway, they're almost always worth it. And then these were kind of stretches for me. These I got at Savers. This was, I think, was $3.99. This is a Franklin Language Master 3000. This is a thesaurus, basically. I mean, it says it right there that it is. These were going for about 30 when I looked it up. I've been watching a lot of other YouTube yard sale videos, and I'm kind of like stretching outside of my norm just to like, 1, mix up these videos a bit, and 2, video games have come down in price a bit. I feel like I've mentioned it in a lot of the videos, so definitely have to stretch what I'm buying and selling. But then this, I was very surprised. This is a Canon 310 XL. This is a little, I think it's a Super 8 camera. I'm not 100% sure. It has it has the cartridge slot. I think it's Super 8, but I'll double check. But these were going anywhere from $50 to $300. So I think I might buy whatever the film cartridge is and test it out, because for parts they were only going for like 20 bucks. But that fly, just get out of here. Anyway, but for parts they were only going for like 20, 30 bucks, so we'll see. What else do we got? We'll go over these PS2s. I bought one yesterday for $5. Came with 4 games. They were all like Max Payne or whatever. And I bought the other one last weekend. I want to say I also only paid $5, and I think it came with like 2 or 3 games as well. I don't really 100% remember buying it, but it must have been either just super quick, like in and out kind of thing. But yeah, 2 PS2 Slims, so that's great. They're going for about $60 right now. Show you got an Anaheim Ducks hat, or Mighty Ducks, for everyone my age. This is like a 20th anniversary hat. It's a little dirty, but they were going for about 20, 25 bucks, so I grabbed it. I'll clean it up a tad. It's got like a little white stuff there. But yeah, just another hat. Then I know these kind of go for an okay amount. This was a Savers $4.99. So a marble mouse. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to use the ones that it was for the thumb instead of like this feels like an index finger kind of thing. So off to the side had the three trigger or click whatever buttons. I used to use that to play like StarCraft and stuff. I bought this. They go for about like 20, 25-ish. Then this same Savers, this was a great find. The Struggle of Nations. This is an Avalon Hill game, but as you can maybe tell, it is sealed. There is a little bit of imperfection with the seal. I think this was where the price tag is, so that kind of came off. And then there's like a little bit up here that got ripped. But if you ever find any Avalon Hill or 3M bookshelf games that are sealed, they're almost always worth picking up. I think used, this was going for like $35, $40. I'm hoping somewhere around 100. Because the bookshelf collectors, they'll put down money for hard to find stuff. So I haven't even heard of this one. Like, I feel like every year I find out about like 5 or 6 new Avalon Hill bookshelf games, especially these war ones. Like, they made so many. But I'm glad I found that. Then I got a little copy of Perudo at Savers for $2.99. This goes for about $50 right now. There are different versions. They're always fluctuating in price. Like, hopefully I have this listed already, because by next week it could be like a $20 version. Then I picked up 2 board games at another yard sale. Got Munchkin Deluxe and Through the Ages, where you can see Napoleon again. He looks a little different. He looks a little bit like the bad guy from Doctor Strange, that actor. He's a bad guy in like James Bond. He's a bad guy in everything. I forget his name, but yeah. I didn't really look up how much these were. I know Munchkin Deluxe is actually a cheaper game now because they sell it in like Target and stuff. Through the Ages looked like it was like $50 new on Amazon. Like, hopefully whatever this company is isn't gated. So we'll see about that. Then we'll go back here to Weird Al. I paid... Oh, this actually might be where I got that iPod Touch. I think I got that and these 3 records. I think I paid $3 for the iPod and these 3 records. So I didn't have service, so I wasn't sure how much these were worth. But just saw Weird Al, Strings Attached, tour this summer. Figured I'd grab this. I have a couple of big Weird Al friends. Friends. I don't think they have record players, so we'll see. We'll see if I end up selling this or not. But I think it's worth like somewhere between like $5 and $15, depending on the shape. There are a few scratches, and it doesn't have a sleeve, so it's definitely counting against it. Then grabbed a like kind of rough Abbey Road. Not sure how much that goes for, but Beatles is usually sought after. And then a Strawberry Shortcake picture disc. I took a risk on this because I know some picture discs can be worth a decent amount of money, but I think this one ends up, it's only like a $5 or $10, if that. So not a great buy, but definitely unique. I would imagine there were like 4 or 5 different ones, so I think this was a super common one. I think some of the other ones might have been worth a little more. Then, oh yeah, this was another of the Lego sets. This is actually, I grabbed this one out of the box immediately before I thought about buying all of them. A lot of these Lego architecture sets, they discontinued. I don't know if they make any of them anymore, but their price only went up. Like, a lot of these Lego sets, you know, they'll go down, especially like the Friends in the City. Those usually go down. The Minecraft, I think, yeah, I have another Minecraft set that's really going down. But these architecture sets go up. So I think these were like $40 or $50 retail. And this one's going for like $90 right now. And most of them go for $90 to like $120 new. I think they go for only a tiny bit less open. So yeah, this is Venice. So this was a great find. So if you ever find Lego architecture, like, definitely look it up. There are a few that are still just $50. I think those ones might still be in print. or they were just like less popular. But yeah, definitely buy those. Then I got a couple Pokemon things. This one was in a box that was just covered in these white little gross things, but they're both sealed. This one's sealed too. I don't usually buy these. They don't go for too much, but I figured since they were sealed, I think this one's Jigglypuff. This one looks like it's Poliwhirl. Yeah, he's on both. Yeah, there he is. So I figured I'd grab them. I think I paid $1, so I want to say I can get at least 10 for both, or 10 each, something like that. Then we got a PS3, which ended up paying they wanted 75, and I was like, I couldn't give you more than 35, and he was like, how about 40? I was like, no, I'd leave it for 40. And they said they were moving, so the wife was just like, just do it. And he's like, yeah, I haven't played it in forever. Which you'll see by the games that, yeah, he was really into it the first 2 years he had it, and then bought one game maybe 3 years later. But all those games came with it, as well as this Grand Theft Auto 4 Special Edition. This is kind of cool. I didn't know this existed. It has like a little lockbox, almost you'd find in a bank. Like when you put the 2 keys in, if you buy a lockbox in a bank or whatever, you'll see it in movies. And then you pull out another box. It looks like that. It came with a duffel bag, an art book, a keychain, the keys for the box, and it's supposed to come in the music CD, but didn't. But he had the game. Thankfully, it would have been kind of hard to sell without the game. But this goes for anywhere between like 30 and like 80, depending on like what contents you have. Missing the music CD definitely will lower the value, but I'm sure it'll still sell for like at least 30 to 40. And then I think we're just left with the games. I know I went over a lot of stuff, but yeah, let's just go with this. So I also bought an N64 last weekend. It sold. I edited an old listing on Amazon, but I forgot to edit the price, so it only sold for 42. But then I listed another one that I had, but just had it on a different listing for 55, and then that sold pretty quick. So I should have been able to get 55, but I didn't. But I only paid 15, so I still made money on it. And I had these games left over, plus I think like a blue controller. So another copy of Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, which you can't buy on Amazon. So I need to make a listing for it or something. Ken Griffey Baseball, NBA Hang Time. I'm not going to pronounce this right. Waleli Country Club Golf or whatever. Cruising USA. It's already sold for $8. And then a copy of Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. It's only like a $5 game. These are the best 2 in there. Ooh. So there's that. Then we'll go through the Intellivision games. So they're all cart only, which is fine because the boxes are always trashed anyway. So this is the first time I've found Intellivision games that aren't just these. I think I've maybe had Donkey Kong. Yeah, I definitely had Donkey Kong before, but most of the time they're like this shape, but you'll see these other ones are like actually look more like games. So we got NHL Hockey, Mission X. There's Donkey Kong. As you'll see, it's like a little bit bigger, it's a little bit longer. It has a top and a front label, even though it's like the same label. Poker and Blackjack. I got like 5 copies of that now. Hubert, Space Battle, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. Star Strike. Another. Oh, is that 2 copies of Donkey Kong? Yeah. Wow, I didn't even notice that. Venture, Major League Baseball, and Astro Smash. So I haven't tested any of those. I don't know how much any of the... I know all of the ones that look like this are worth pretty much nothing. But I don't know how much, Donkey Kong or Venture or Hubert are worth, but hopefully an okay amount. Hopefully more than like 10 cents. We'll go through the Atari games. So as I said, The only game I sold out of these so far was James Bond for 25. The rest of these aren't worth very much. Frogger is probably the next one at like, it's worth like between $8 and $10 usually. So Frogger, Atlantis, Space War, Football, Mousetrap, Super Breakout. Now I'm getting hiccups. Another copy of Atlantis, Commando Raid, Dragster, Missile Command, Pac-Man, Warlords, Combat, Skiing, Space Invaders, Dodge 'em, Circus Atari, Night Driver, Backgammon. I will carefully drag this over. Scratching those little rocks. Still have cracks in my floor. Stuff still comes out of it. Bump and Jump. This one actually I think was worth about $10 as well. Grand Prix, Human Cannonball, Video Olympics without the top label or side label, Night Driver again, Chopper Command. I think this one was worth like 7 or 8 as well. Air Sea Battle, Breakout, another copy of Combat, Dragonfire, Cosmic Arc, Pac-Man, Real Sports Football again, Target Fun, Decathlon, Asteroids, Home Run, Jungle Hunt, Breakout, Pole Position, and Bugs. So that's that. So I've gotten to the point where if you look over there, you can see a stack of Atari games. That's, I want to say, three rows deep. And I also have some bagged ones with manuals up there. I've gotten to the point where I have too many to sell individually anymore. So I'm just going to have to lot them up. So I'm probably going to put a listing for like, I'm probably going to grab every game that isn't worth more than like $5. I'm going to lot them all together and just see what I can get. Probably, usually try to get about 50 cents a game on these, but I'll probably go less. I'll go through this stack. So this was inside the black Xbox 360. We got Reflex MX vs ATV. These were the DSi games. We got Pets, Dogs Pack, Mario, and Sonic the Olympic Games, which is the best game in here, sadly. Imagine Fashion Stylist, Fancy Tea Party Time, Art Academy, and the Smurfs. And then for $2 at the yard sale with the Legos and the Xbox 360, I got Halo the Master Chief Collection. They kept terrible care of it, but the disc looks good. $2 for that. I'm gonna hold on to that. These came with the Legos. We got Lego Star Wars, Lego Marvel, Lego Jurassic World, and Battlefield 4. I actually already played this on PS3, but I figured I'd give it another go. So I don't have any of these. So these are all being kept. There were other games I didn't have that I probably should have just grabbed. They also had another copy of Lego Force Awakens that was sealed, but the disc was loose inside. So I was like, you might want to open this. And they're like, no. And I was like, all right, it's gonna get scratched though. Usually those come loose because the little plastic part like got dented and like broke, and like that plastic piece is just scratching that disc every time it like flies around. So I know it's kind of hard to want to open up a sealed game, but I probably would have done it. Then I got Time Splitters 2, and I think there's a copy of like Wii Sports Resort in that pile, or maybe this pile. The guy just gave it to me for free. I was trying to buy his Xbox for $10. Like original Xbox. It only had like 2 games and it had like 2 Duke controllers and a keyboard for some reason. He wanted 50 at the beginning of the day. I'd only showed up 30 minutes later and he was asking 25, and I was like, I'll give you 10, but he wouldn't come off 15. And original Xboxes just aren't worth buying for more than $10, especially with like barely any games. So he just gave me this and Wii Sports Resorts for some reason. But let's see. These were the games that came with the PS3. We got MLB 2K7, Tiger Woods 09, Red Dead Redemption, Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 2, PGA Tour 11, Mafia 2. I'm going to keep that one because I haven't played it. I thought I had, but I guess I played Godfather 2. Rainbow Six Vegas, does you have trophies? I don't think so. I think 2 had trophies. Virtual Tennis 3, NHL 2K8 and 2K7 and 2K9. Assassin's Creed, Fight Night Round 3, Madden 08, Tony Hawk Project 8, Orange Box. This is actually a decent one. I think this still goes for about like 12 to 15. GTA 5. So I was saying like he was into it for a few years and then didn't do anything. And then he bought GTA 5 and then he stopped playing it. Infamous and Dead Space. So definitely some good games in there. Definitely a lot of sports as well though. And then this is the last of it. So actually the same street that I bought the DS Lite, this lady had games. Or she didn't have games. She ran in and grabbed games, and she said she'd have another yard sale next weekend, and she'd grab more. I'm not really sure why she didn't want to look, but we got a Fist of the North Star. I'm not sure how much that's worth. Super Mario 2, Dr. Mario, and it's probably Mario Duck Hunt. Yeah, Mario Duck Hunt. So I paid $5 for the 4 of those. Like Mario 2, I know is worth it. I left behind like Olympic whatever and something else. I probably could have just grabbed all 6 of them for $5, but yeah, definitely grabbed the Mario Duck Hunt because it's easier to sell like the action set on Amazon than it is like the control deck. So definitely needed that. And then Fist of the North Star I took a chance on because like anime stuff, anime games that have come out in the past 10 or 15 years. Definitely worth money. Those original ones, it's kind of like a shot in the dark. So this was the only other game that came with the Sega CD. It actually came with Sewer Shark as well. So that's a complete, like, has everything that's it's supposed to. So actually, yeah. So that's gonna go for like probably $150 to $200. Maybe even more. Like the box definitely increases the value on Sega systems. Like I've sold Model 2s for like $15 and I've sold boxed Model 2s for like $80. So yeah, this was at Thunderstrike. I stopped at another yard sale. I already sold a couple games from it. It was Gex. I should have another video where I picked out a couple. I made another video where I just kind of go over what I've sold things for. I'm gonna probably do that like I'm gonna film it every Monday or every day that just like has over 10 orders maybe. We'll see. I figured just to like give you an example of like prices I'm setting here versus prices that they actually end up selling for. So I actually tell you exactly what it sold for instead of being like, oh, it's 12 to 15. It's like, oh, it sold for $13.47 because I'll change prices just to try to make sales or whatever. But this was pending for forever. Crash 3, this didn't end up selling. It was only going for like $6 anyway. But I paid $3 for this Final Fantasy Tactics and Gex and maybe a Spyro game. I kind of forget, but I think it's gone. Mortal Kombat 3 came with the Sega CD. I wanna say there were more Genesis games, but I don't know where they went because they're not in this pile. I might have accidentally put them away. I want to say Sonic was in there too, and maybe something else. But I want to say I accidentally just put them up there, but it's cool. So these came with the Wii Mini. We got Animal Crossing City Folk, Wii Ski, Band Hero, Wii Play, Lego Rock Band, Mario Kart Wii, Mario Power Tennis. This was a GameCube game. Mario and Sonic the Olympic Games. And that was it. I could have swore there was another Mario game, but I guess not. These 4 games came with the PS2 Slim I bought yesterday. Red Faction, Dance Dance Revolution Supernova, a Max Payne, and Max Payne 2. Then these came with the camo PS4. Good Just Dance 2019. I'm going to keep that. Call of Duty World War II. That's going to go with the system. And Atari Flashback. I haven't decided. I'm probably not going to keep this because I don't really like the Atari games. They were fine when I was 4, but they're pretty rough now. And then this was the copy of Wii Sports Resort I got for free. And look at that. This came with the Sega Genesis. I think Final Fantasy Tactics actually came with this. So I didn't buy that from that other lady. But anyway, Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. It used to be like an $80, $90 game. It's like floating around like 30 to 50 right now. This I got for like a buck at a yard sale. Zatch Bell. I might go for like 9 or 10. Spider-Man Shattered Dimension. This has been in pending hell for 5 days on Amazon. This should have sold for $29, but it's just hanging out now. And then Tie 3. I think I bought that with Jurassic Park as well. He came out with a giant tote bag full of PS2 games, but there just really wasn't anything besides this in there. It was all just sports, and half the cases were empty, and it's kind of a mess. But yeah, so that's everything. That took a while. That took quite a while. So I nearly forgot that these were the mystery games that were inside the Wii's and the PS3. So Ni no Kuni, which is a pretty good one to find. I already own this, so I'm not going to hold on to it. But I think the remaster for PS4 comes out soon, so this probably isn't worth too much. We got Wii Carnival games and Wii Sports. So yeah, those were the mystery games that were inside the systems. Hopefully I'll cut this down, but we'll see. So yeah, if you like that, definitely check out the video I mentioned where I go over the sold prices. I definitely won't do it for every single thing I sell, but when I have a day where it's just like a lot of stuff, like right after this, I'm going to do it. So yeah, definitely check out those videos. Hopefully I put it up before this one or put it out right after this one. And yeah, so like, subscribe, comment, share. If you have any questions, or if you have any tips, if you're like, Chris, you should really be looking for these while you're out there too, definitely let me know, because I would definitely appreciate it. So hopefully see everyone soon. Bye.